stage to start the program. Come.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just can everybody just switch off their phones, please? Photographers, can you just come on the right? Good afternoon, everyone. Warm welcome to the unveiling of 11 Gods and a Billion Indians by my dear friend Boria. We are indeed honored to have amongst us two gods, as the book says, and a few of the billion Indians sitting here, including myself. One of the most vivid memories of my childhood was when my father took me to watch the 1987 Cricket World Cup finals at the magnificent Eden Gardens. Before Australia lifted the trophy, I rushed to the Boria hotel with my dad, and I was fortunate enough to reach the hotel just before the team arrived. I was actually playing hide and seek. I was 9 years old, and I was playing hide and seek with the security, trying to get autographs. And those moments actually defined my passion and love for cricket. This book is a tribute to every fan sitting here and fans across the world. It is a book by a fan for the fan, to every cricket fan across the globe. When I met Boria for the first time, I was completely in awe of his stories and his tales on cricket. I could sit for hours and hours listening to his anecdotes, facts on cricket. The book captures some very crucial revelations, sagas, and moments which you would have never known. It captures the backstage like never before. I lived my dream and passion by running a company called Fanatic Sports, a sports ticketing and travel company which takes fans to global sporting events. There's nothing better than seeing a fan fulfill his dream of watching sport, live sport. When Dada accompanied me and Boria to the Champions League final last year, he was like all of us, a fan seeing Real Madrid and Juventus at the Champions League final. Fanatic associated with Virat at his foundation event, both in London and at the Indian Sports Honours, I felt fulfilled as a sports fan and an entrepreneur. I take this opportunity to thank Boria for giving me this opportunity, and I would like to invite Mr. Rahul Srivastav, who can come and just give a quick note on the publishing front.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, colleagues and friends, I welcome you all on behalf of Simon & Schuster India at the launch of one of the most special books we have ever published, and certainly one of the highlights of our 2018 publishing list. Boria Majumder needs no introduction. As a cricket historian and most importantly, as a cricket enthusiast, he has enlightened and informed us for years now, and he presented us, cricket fans, a ringside view of the game we all love so fiercely. In a country where cricket is a religion which bridges all gaps and unites us all every time our men in blue step out to play. This book is a vital step towards understanding the game better by revisiting its significant events in history and its evolution in India and abroad through the years. We as publishers are proud to be associated with this book, which, as Boria will confirm, is his life's these 500 odd pages. This book reads no less than the script of a commercial blockbuster with thrills, drama, emotions, betrayals, heroism, and even romance packed between its pages. The phrase unputdownable is overused, but it's only rarely for books such as 11 Gods and a Billion Indians that it holds absolutely true. I assure you that this is a book which will grip you from the very first passage, and you won't be able to let go of it until you have reached its concluding pages. I cannot thank the two icons, Mr. Sourav Ganguly and Mr. Virat Kohli, enough for gracing this occasion by taking out time from their extremely busy schedules and releasing the book. Both of them are integral parts of this book because any definitive account of Indian cricket is incomplete without the contributions of these stalwarts, and their supports toward the book has overwhelmed us. Thank you also to my team at Simon & Schuster India, whose hard work made this book possible. And most importantly, a big thank you to our author, Boria Majumder, for writing this riveting book. I'm sure this is the beginning of a long association, and we'll be gifting the world many such gems together in the years ahead. Thank you all for being here. Now I invite Boria, please.
You know, the first call was, should I host this program? It's my book. Then I realized, but yes, I may be the author, but two of the 11 gods we are talking about, very central characters of this book with me today. Both have been extensively spoken to, celebrated as part of this book, so why not? Because that may be something that will allow you an insight into what this is all about. You know, 2006, Sourav Ganguly making a comeback, trying to make a comeback, one of the most difficult periods he has encountered as a cricketer. Obviously mired with contradiction and thoughts, can I make a comeback? In his own book, A Century is Not Enough, he talks about it. And he gets a call to come back to the team in South Africa when Greg Chappell is still at the helm. Sourav takes a flight, goes to South Africa. A friend of his, we all know who, I don't want to mention, calls him and says, why are you doing it? Don't play this series against Callis and Entini and Nell and whoever. You would much rather play the next series at home. And Sourav says, if I still have cricket left in me, it has to be proven in South Africa. He takes the flight, lands in South Africa. Indian team was practicing in Potchefstroom. He goes right into the practice session. Next day, 83 for 5 India. Sourav goes out and plays an innings of 83. Fast forward to the test match, 110 for 4, and he gets 51 not out. He comes back to the dressing room, and I push him. So what did Greg Chappell tell him? And he gives me a smile and says, does it matter? All he said was, welcome. But I, in that 22-yard strip, was with my bat, playing for India and scoring for India. If that is not motivation, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is. Put your hands together for a dear friend, Sourav Ganguly. 2012. Virat Kohli was not having the best of tours in Australia. Perth. I've covered practically every game that Virat has played. Sourav, if you please take a seat and we'll start. Virat was still Melbourne, Sydney, 2 test matches. Comes Perth, he was in a zone. He gets a 75. Fast forward 2 months. Mirpur, Dhaka, Saeed Ajmal bowling at his absolute best, still a mystery spinner of sorts. Sachin gets 52 in that game, chasing a big total, big Pakistani total. Virat Kohli gets 183. Bats for 3 hours, almost 3. Post the match, which ends around 11:30, 11:45 at night, Dhaka time. And Virat is coming to speak to us in the media box. And if anybody has been to Mirpur, you will know it's quite a long walk to the media center. And each of us are waiting because we have to file our stories, we have our deadlines. And Virat comes, suddenly in the middle, he stops, he turns, because there was a section exactly like this of fans still screaming, Virat, Virat. And we are looking at him, he turns, he goes back, starts signing autographs. Comes to us in about 5, 7, 10 minutes, and the first thing he says is, I'm sorry, you guys are all waiting to send your stories, but these fans, after that 3, 6 hours and staying out in that heat and all of that, they were still there. So the little I could do is turn back, go to them and sign autographs. And we realized Indian cricket clearly is in safe hands. Since then, arguably the best batsman in the world in all formats, captain of India, someone, Sourav Ganguly says, brings everyone back to their seats to watch the game. Put your hands together. Captain of India, Virat Kohli. Okay, Sourav, with you first. You've always said this about, and I'll start with your tenure and then go to Virat. The one thing, আপনারা যদি একটু বসেন পেছনে লোকজন দেখতে পারবে একটু বসেন please, thank you. The one thing that sort of brings the two of you together, leadership and overseas performance. When you took over Indian cricket in doldrums of sorts, the curse of fixing, the team not winning, Australia 99, Virat takes over, England of 2013, the loss in the test series 1-3. Can you talk about the mindset under you and how you brought about that transformation? And I will ask the same question of Virat.
Firstly, Boria, Thank you for inviting me here and inviting me, Virat and Sanjeev here for your book. Congratulations on it, and I'm sure everyone who reads it will get to know a lot. The size is pretty big actually, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of information for everyone. You know, coming back to what you said regarding the overseas performances, it's a mindset. You know, I see that in Virat. You know, 6 months ago, I was reading in a newspaper that he wants certain people or everyone to be on that fitness list of 16.5 or 17, whatever it is, and there is a purpose to it. You know, it may sound very different on paper, or when somebody else, the old-fashioned people will say that, you know, that's not everything about the game. You know, you don't need to be 16.5 to be the best player, but there is a meaning to it. You know, over the years, I'm sure Virat's realized, and I have realized, you've played the best when you've been the fittest. And I think it's a change in culture in the year 2001, in the year 2000 when I became captain, because we were always a good team at home. The pitches spun, you know, we had the best spinners in the world, and at times you never needed to captain. Every time I would feel tired, I would stand at point and let Anil and Harbhajan do the job, and I'm sure he must be having the same thing with the quality of spinners in the side. So it needed a change of culture, it needed a change of mindset. That was the first time India had an overseas trainer, an overseas coach, an overseas physio. Before that, we used to have managers and coaches for every tour. So the mindset changed. The team needed to understand that, you know, if we have to make a difference, as a team, we have to go and play away from home, because, you know, we were termed as tigers at home, but moment we went, Ganguly would get 100, Rahul or Sachin or VVS, but we wouldn't win. And winning is a culture. Winning is not just about scoring runs or picking wickets, but doing things at the right time. You know, the test match he won in Johannesburg, winning the toss and batted. I remember I was doing the show with you on Headlines today, and the media was going berserk that how can Virat Kohli win the toss and bat first on the surface. And if you remember what I told you, we'll talk in 4 days' time, and I feel the decision is right. And he won the test match. So it's about the culture, it's about the mindset. It's about doing things differently. And I was fortunate enough to lead a fantastic group of cricketers. You know, Sachin, Rahul, VVS, Sehwag, myself, you just name it. You know, they're a fantastic breed of players. Anil, Harbhajan, Zaheer. You know, Virat would have loved to have any one of them in his side at this present moment. And it was a mixture of everything. And I see it in his team as well. With him as a leader, obviously he's different from the rest, a class apart from everyone, with due respect to everyone. And he's got some players who would actually win him cricket matches. When I see those two young leg spinners bowl in South Africa, you sit up and say, you know, come to test match cricket. And I'm sure you're going to see one of them in England and Australia winning cricket matches. So it's a change in culture, it's a change in mindset, and I see that happening in this team as well.
So same question to you, Virat. I mean, 2013-14 taking over, middle of the tour, obviously 400s, and what a statement in Australia, but this thing about leadership, I mean, leading from the front especially overseas, difficult conditions. India did not complain about the state of the pitch. It was a nasty, nasty cricket wicket. South Africa complained, India did not.
Well, firstly, thanks for having me. As Dada just mentioned, it's a pleasure being here, and congratulations on your book. As Dada said, it looks quite thick, so it's going to take a lot of reading, but I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy it because it's a detailed explanation of Indian cricket history, which I think is a wonderful thing to know. And you'll all surely enjoy it. Yeah, look, as Dada rightly mentioned, I think the mindset matters when you're going to face something difficult, and the mindset is what what was shining through when he was at the helm and the team was in transition, and you know how they ended up becoming a great team overseas as well was only purely because of the fact that all the players in the team wanted to achieve the same goal. And when you have that sort of belief and trust with each other, then I don't think you need to worry about where the team is heading. And I think the most important factor when you go to conditions which are not your own is belief. You need to have the ability to look at things in a very different way from anyone else, purely because either they can't look at it the same way or they choose not to. There are only two things that can happen. So as a team, we kept looking at things from the other perspective. You know, as Dada mentioned, winning the toss and batting first, there was opposition from all over. But the team believed that this is the best decision for us. We backed it. And as in cricket, with techniques and everything, there's no one way of doing something. There's always your way, and if you believe in your way, you can make things happen with your particular way as well. So, look, it's been a start. It's been a turnaround after 2 test matches, but the mindset was only one: we need to win. We want to win at any cost. We want to win, and that belief, even after 2 tough test matches, that belief is what got us back when no one believed in us. The group, the management, we all believed in ourselves, and we were able to turn things around. We didn't worry about who's got how many runs or who's been hit for how many runs or how we've lost in 4 days or whatnot. We were only focused about one thing: we are good enough, and we can win, and that's all that you require.
Sourav, I celebrate you a lot in the book. You've read the chapters, and I have to take you back to the times of adversity. When you are down, there are other elements also conspiring. Talk us through that, the belief that he's talking about. I mean, the reason you are celebrated is because of that. I mean, to be able to come back, to be able to do what you did, you with the bat, and something that Virat also has done. Come Perth, 2075, that innings when India is getting bundled out. Can you give me an insight into the sort of Ganguly of 2005-6, October to next November, the toughest period, according to me, in your cricket career?
It's never easy to be left out, and it's never easy to be left out in spite of scoring runs. So that was difficult because at the end of the day, when you're a cricketer or you're in any sports, when you can control what you do with your skills, but when the selection becomes a bit beyond skills, then it becomes difficult. So you had to just wait. You had to just wait and deal with it and wait for your opportunity. So that's what when you said come to South Africa. Yes, I did get a phone call from a very dear friend. He said, you're coming back after 6-7 months. The South African attack was brilliant that time. And he said, is it the right place to go? I said, if you have to play for a long period of time, it is you have to score in tough conditions. That's when a captain will have the belief that when the going gets tough, and I was not captain, I had just finished captaincy, that when the going gets tough, X, Y, Z is your man to stand up. You look at his transformation. England in 2013, he struggled. Australia a year back or 6 months back, 400s in 4 test matches. I've not seen any Indian batsman play so well in Australia. We've all got hundreds in Australia. Sachin has, Rahul has, VVS has, I have. But what he did in those 4 test matches was something I've not seen it for a long time. And even when I meet Sachin, I tell him the same thing. I said what I saw in the tour of Australia with Virat Kohli, and that actually transformed him. There are times in life, and every sportsman goes through, because when you are in such a platform, such a focused profession, I've been through 6-7 years. He's going through it. You will get people judging you in every move he does. He bats first, he bowls second, he drops a catch. He picks someone. When I see it, I said, no, it's the same repeat of the story. But what is right is do what you believe, do what you think is right for the team. The best thing someone told me when I first became captain is that the moment you start leading your team for the media, for the critics, for the broadcasters, and for the newsmakers, you are in trouble. You have to lead your team, and you go back that night to your hotel and sleep and go to bed and say, I was given a responsibility because the world believes I am good, because the selectors believe I am good, and I'll do it to the best of my ability. Nobody will be right. Nobody in this world is right. But I'll make sure that every day I finish a cricket match and I get on the bus back to the hotel, I'll speak to myself and say, whatever I've done, it's for the best of the team. And more often than not, with the ability he has, I'm sure he's going to get results.
124 for 1 South Africa in that 3rd test. And yes, I mean, it was wet, and I had a chat with Ravi about what it was. And at any point in time, you thought, 124 for 1, Hashim almost sort of creating a tent out there and batting like what way he was. What was the mindset? Because the coaching unit tells me you went to tea, and the captain actually said, and I'm quoting Ravi Shastri here, he said Virat Kohli came back for tea and said, we're winning this game.
Yeah, obviously it was difficult because we thought the wicket's gonna play very differently, and it's gonna be difficult from early on. But when again, one must not lose perspective of what is right and what is wrong. I felt that we went through that test match doing all the right things, and our intention was right throughout. We did not We were not dishonest to the game. We were not scared at any stage. We were brave. We played the game the right way. We were moving ahead at all times. And I knew that we were a team who wanted to be out there more than the other team. And this game cannot, do injustice to us. The result has to go our way because we have been honest in what we have done. And I knew that, the guys also believed that we get one wicket and they're going to crumble. And that's exactly what happened. We just had to stay patient and not lose our focus. And credit to everyone, even the bowlers felt like, we can do the job. That's the only feedback that kept coming from them throughout. And the belief was very evident. I mean, anyone who took the ball, they just wanted to make things happen for the team. But one thing in the back of my head was always there that if we have been honest to the game in this particular game, the result will come our way. It cannot go the other way.
Okay, now let me just sort of lighten this mood up a little bit. When you go to Lord's this year and Indian cricket fans go, if there is a luncheon break and a drinks break, people will go to that Lord's museum and they will not ask about Virat Kohli. They will still ask where did Sourav Ganguly open his shirt. They will.
Yeah,
now, one second.
I can give it to you in writing if he wins the World Cup.
I said I'll come to that. I know your statement and I'll ask you that question, Virat. Question to you first, then I'll come to Sourav. When Sourav opened his shirt at the Lord's balcony, you may be 13, 12, I don't know. What was your first thought? He didn't have six packs like you have.
Well, I clearly remember that night. The game started brilliantly. I think the opening part closer apart. And, the other and we were great guns and we felt like, oh, this is our game. Because those totals back in the day were very difficult to get, especially in England, against England in the final. And I thought, this is our game, this is going great. And then we were 150 for 5 and I slept off because I could not watch. I just went to sleep and then my brother came. What's going on? I mean, what are you talking about? He said, we're winning, come out. So we started watching. And, when I saw that moment happen, I think it's very difficult for people to understand, but those things are so organic. And you just go through with it. You're not worried about judgments. You're not worried about what people are going to say about you. As he said, you cannot be a robot operating for the sake of, what people are going to write or say about you. You have to be honest towards the game and you have to be yourself. I mean, if you're not expressive and if you're not yourself, then as he said, so I'm sure that moment was very organic. He didn't care about, whether he's in the Lord's balcony. He could have been anywhere in the world, but that was just pure happiness coming through that against the odds, the team has achieved something, and this is the way I want to express myself. And I never think that there's anything wrong with that because that is just pure human emotion coming through.
Okay, now Sourav Ganguly's
the best thing was at Lord's, whatever I did, rightly or wrongly, there was Lakshman standing next to me and Harbhajan Singh standing behind me. So as I was taking the shirt off, Lakshman was pulling it down. He was pulling it down and then Harbhajan was standing next to me and he's asking me, what should I do? I said, you take it off too.
Now. Sourav keeps telling me, every time I ask Sourav this, he said, your question has a shelf life. And I'm like, why? He says, let Virat Kohli win the 2019 World Cup. You talk about Lords, he will take his shirt off on Oxford Street. Over to you now.
I can guarantee you now, if he wins that final in Lords in 2019, I'll be there, you'll be there.
Yes.
And we better get our cameras ready because, as he said, he's got the six packs. I was not heavy in 2002 as well. And I won't be surprised if he's on that Oxford Street with the trophy and his shirt off.
All of these camera people will be there on Oxford Street watching.
And I don't think it'll only be me because there are a lot of people with six packs in the team, so we'll all be roaming around.
Wow.
And I can tell you who will be following him, Hardik Pandya.
120%.
And I will have a new chapter in 11 Gods and a Billion Indians.
Bumrah's there as well. He's in the game big time. So
wow.
We have few candidates.
He's just got to be careful with Ravi and Bharat Arun. Or he's got to make sure by the time 1 year finishes, they're slim and fit.
Fabulous. Sourav, one to you before I go to Virat. When you're transforming a team as leader, and he was speaking to me just a while back and he said, the batsman goes out of the window and he's only talking, Yes, I get 150, but that's for the team. I get 100, that's for the team. That 144, innings defining, series defining 144. He's 153 in South Africa, series defining. Can you talk about some of those moments as leader? Something that I celebrate in the book.
You know, that's a balance every captain has to do, because a lot of times when you're captain and when you're as passionate as he is and you want the team to win, a lot of time you're playing looking at the scoreboard, which situation my team is, you know, batting at 60 for 2, 63 for 4 or 100 for 5, and you know that at times that scoreboard takes over. So it's very important when you're captain and you're leading a side very, very passionately, you have to put that fine line as captain and a batsman, which he's done exceptionally well. Look at his record as a captain. My record as a batsman as captain was not as good as his was. So you have to get that thing going, and being the best player in the team, you know that your performance is very, very important for the team's success. If you remember, before going to South Africa, I told you that India will play well if Virat Kohli scores runs. And you saw the one-day series, 300s in 6 one-day games, and it completely transformed the series for India. So from that point of view, that's the biggest challenge for him for over a long period of time. Captaincy will only get harder. It doesn't get easy, because when you start, you know, you get that space, young captain, he's good, and obviously the quality of player he is, it's only going to get tougher. Away, he did well in South Africa in the one days, but I'm sure he knows that his testimony or he will be remembered when he starts winning test matches away. And for the same for all of us, and he will do it. You know, come England, come Australia with the bowling attack he's got, he gets 350 runs on the board. And I'm looking forward to them giving green pitches. You know, India get 350 because India will get. The bowling will pick 20 wickets in a test match. So I think that's very, very important. And for him, for the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and I'm looking at a shorter period for the 1 year till the World Cup, will be to separate his captaincy from his batting. Because if he bats well, India will win. That's very, very important.
Few questions before I go into the unveil. Virat has to leave in 15 minutes. Virat, what he just spoke about, I mean, you know, in that 150 that you got in the one-day game, clearly when we were seeing you on telly, you were struggling with your fitness. I mean, cramps, but to be able to push the body, I mean, despite you struggling, physically you were pushing yourself for the country. Can you talk us through those moments, how the mind works, that you are actually pushing the body to its limits of endurance?
Well, it's, you know, I'll give you a small example. It's basically what your mind engages in the best. You have to focus your attention towards that. Say we need to warm up before a practice session or a game. If you're running laps and on the ground, you know, the motivation drops after a certain stage. But if you play a game of football, doesn't matter how tired you are, you're still running after a football. There's a motive to it. There's a goal attached to what you're doing. So in those moments, as the other rightly mentioned, you know, it's at the back of your head, the thing is always running for the team. You know, the thought is only after or only about what the team wants you to do at that particular time. My focus in that particular game was, you know, although Bhuvi played outstandingly well, I mean, that partnership was crucial. But the only thing we kept talking about was, it doesn't matter how we do it, we need to get past 300. And I knew that, you know, I had to bat through for us to get a good chance of doing that, because I was batting with Bhuvi and there was not much batting left after. So, I don't know, as I said earlier, I don't know if that comes naturally or what it is, but at all times my focus automatically shifts to what the team wants at that particular stage. And the thing is that I like to take responsibility, and I think responsibility starts from the top. And I like to take responsibility for the team, set the tone right, you know, make an impactful contribution in the game so that the team can benefit from it. That's the only thing I'm thinking about at all times, and that allows you to push your body beyond limits that you can otherwise push. And I surprise myself every time that happens. You know, I feel like I have cramps, I can't hold the bat, but the focus goes on team winning 300 and the pain goes away. So it's all in the mind. If you can control that, then nothing is impossible, I think.
My favorite Sourav Ganguly story, some of you have heard that. I will ask Virat his favorite story as well. And then each other, and we'll close this conversation in 3-4 minutes and get into the unveil. Michael Clarke is the one who's quoted in the book. I don't know which page I can tell you that. And Michael tells me Sourav Ganguly is out for the toss with Ricky Ponting, Ricky Ponting comes back to the dressing room, has his hands on his head, and is sitting down quietly. And Michael and the entire Australian team says, "What's happened?" And Ricky's like, "I don't know what happened." So he says, "What do you mean?" He said, Sourav flicked the coin and he said, "Head tail." So he said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, he actually said head tail. He picked up the coin, gave it back to me and said, 'We are batting,' and he walked off." So I said, "Michael, I mean, come on, exaggeration accepted." He said, "Take me to Sourav's house. I will say exactly what I told you." I took him to Sourav's house, serious gourmet lunch. Michael asks this exact thing and says, "Dada, did you say that?" And all Sourav did was laugh. Answer, yes, no, I don't know. Your dressing room, anything like that keeps happening? I mean, do you guys all, he's later told me.
No, I'll correct the phrase. You know, firstly, Australians have a problem in understanding at times. You know, what exactly was said was, as he flicked it up, I said head, you tail. So he must have thought as head and tail. Even I hear this monkey gate issue, and I keep hearing it in Australia. You know, I cannot say a word to anyone. I was just having a word with Sanjeev at the backstage before we came, and he said, "Sourav, you should do this, you should do that." I said, "Sanjeev, half the things I can't say because, you know, you're still meeting them all the time. You know, you're still friends with them, and they'll say, you know, what makes you say all this?" And to a Sardarji, Andrew Simons speaks about monkey. So you have to know what exactly was Harbhajan saying. Virat is from northern part of India, so he knows what exactly I'm trying to say, and that's exactly what Harbhajan Singh said. And that's what exactly I told to Ricky Ponting, that head, you tell. He didn't realize because he was under enormous pressure or whatever, I don't know. And that's what happened, and I don't know what he went and said into the dressing room.
Okay, my favorite Virat Kohli story. And this is courtesy Sachin Tendulkar, retirement day, and this tells you about the man. And then he can tell his story and we'll get into the unveil. Sachin says he was sitting in the Wankhede dressing room on his cricket coffin, and the career has ended, 24 long years over. And he says, Virat comes up to me, and he had these threads on his arm. All of us wear it, like the dhagas. And he comes and he says, my father had given these to me and said, if I see someone or if I respect someone that much, I should give them to somebody. And you are the person, and quote, Sachin says, he touched my feet and I was choked. I said, what are you doing? Tujhe yahan aana hai, yahan nahi. He embraced him and he said to me then, if someone can do this, Indian cricket is in safe hands, ladies and gentlemen. Indian cricket is in safe hands. What makes, I mean, this story is one of respect, one of humility, one of modesty. Can you take me through that mindset? I mean, what happened?
I don't have too many people who are very close to me, and that is just the way life has gone for so many years. Because naturally, when someone has been stuck by me in tough times, I value that person, a lot, and I continue to do that. And the impact that he has had in my life as a cricketer growing up, I understand the importance of it. So it's very difficult to explain it, but if someone can give you inspiration like that, and you have something to work towards in your life, and you end up becoming someone, and you feel like you have done something in life, I don't think there's a greater pleasure than that. So that was just a gesture of thank you to the guy who's inspired me to do what I am doing today, and it just came naturally. So for me, the human connect is paramount. Incentives, gains, losses, these things don't matter to me. If someone's been honest with me, if someone's sticking by me, and they are doing the right thing, I respect them to the extent, and that's what matters.
Absolutely. I mean, the first chapter of my book was unveiled at Victoria Memorial as part of a literary festival. Sourav Ganguly was supposed to go to the Bangalore IPL auction, and the previous night he wrote to me at 12 at midnight saying, I'm not going, I'll be there for your book launch function. These things for your lifetime make a big difference to me. So I remain indebted. Virat has practiced to be able to do this for the amount of time. On that note, can I please have some more people up on stage who've made a very big difference to me and the book? so that we can now get on with the formal unveil. So please, can I first have the books on stage? Avantika, Neha, can I please have the books on stage? And I want Sanjeev Goenka, quoted in the book at length, someone whose office serves me the best coffee. And we've discussed IPL and Indian cricket at length. So please, Mr. Goenka, can I have you on stage? Atul, please can I have you on stage? ITC Hotels, partners. Raghav, dear friend, more than a brother, can I have you on stage? Rahul, please can I have you on stage? Venki, for the longest time, dear friend, can I have you on stage? Rajneesh, can I have you on stage, please? And if I could have the books, we will do the formal unveil. এক মিনিট আপনারা যত খুশি তুলে নেবেন আগে বইটা নিতে দিন আপনারা বারণ করলে তারপরে আমি নামাবো সো ডোন্ট জাম্প দ্য গান ডোন্ট স্ক্রিম লেট আপনারা ছবি তুলে নিলে এভরিবডি এলস will see it, okay? So please take your time and take it. Yeah, please. Sourav, খুলে দাও এটা তোমারটা খোলো yeah please yeah এই দুটোতে রিবন দেয়া আছে যাতে বেশি সময় না লাগে yeah let's open it together please. So that's the formal unveiling of 11 gods and a billion Indians. Okay, the countdown has started. 20 seconds. তার মধ্যে ছবিটা তুলবেন প্লিজ তারপরে I'll close this. 20 seconds. 1. Sir, একদম পারফেক্ট হবে না. Perfect history cannot be written. Okay, got it? Okay, now the second photograph. It's very rare that a book comes out in multiple languages at the same time. This one is one such. Can I please have the publisher of my Bengali book, Deeptangshu Mondol, on stage? We are doing this 11 Gods and a Billion Indians across languages in India. The Bengali version comes out in 10 days in Kolkata. The Hindi version comes out in Delhi. The Telugu version comes out as well. Please, that's the cover of the Bengali book, which is coming out in 10 days' time. Raghav, samne aao. Apnara tinjon khule din. Please. শান্তি রাখুন আমরা সময় দেব ডোন্ট ওয়ারি ওকে দিস ইজ ইউ ক্যান রিড ইট কি হবে দাও কি হলো ইটস ঈশ্বর একাদশ ও শতকোটি ভারতীয় লিটারালি ট্রান্সলেটেড 11 gods and a billion Indians. It's done. Thank you very, very much for that. You have something?
On this grand occasion where we're celebrating cricket in a big time, our chefs at Febel have created a grand celebration cake. So may I take a permission to bring it up? Sure.
So Virat says uska kota ho gaya aaj ka. So that's the end of the formal part of the function. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, he has to go. Once again, Indian cricket team is in safe hands. Indian cricket team, come the Australia tour, come the England tour, come World Cup of 2019. We could not have had a better person to lead this country. Put your hands together for the captain of India, Virat Kohli, and someone, as I said, I can call him middle of the night. I can ask for anything under the sun. He will always help me. One of the people I celebrate big time in this book, Sourav Ganguly. Put your hands together for both of them. এবার যদি আপনারা please একটু সরে যান, last 2 minutes. Once the photographers move away, I will close the function with my guests. এবার যদি kindly সরে যান, please, please. Let's get the audience back into the program. ছবি হয়ে গেছে, please. Let's settle down. We'll have closing comments from my guests and it's over. Please, done. Side যান, please. হয়ে গেছে, please. Thank you, Virat. Wish you all the very, very best for the IPL. All the very, very best as captain of India going forward. Final 30 seconds of comments. Is Virat Kohli in the zone where he's actually a monk in a civil world?
Well, thank you. Thank you for your wishes. Again, it was a pleasure being here and launching this book, which I think is going to be a very special book. I'm on my way. I think I'm on the right path, and I'm very happy with life. I enjoy life every day, and it's a blessing from God, so I can't complain.
Sourav, does this team have it in it to win World Cup 2019?
Yeah, of course. They played the Champions Trophy final last year. So, let's not get too far ahead. Wish them all the best. They've got some wonderful talent, and hopefully they will be there.
So you reiterate that Oxford Street point one more time for my audience.
We want them to win, and whichever way they celebrate, it'll be up to them.
On that note, I think we've had a wonderful, wonderful function. There are several people to thank: ITC Hotels, Fanatic Sports, of course my publishers, but most importantly, people on stage: Sanjeev Goenka, Rajneesh Chopra, Atul Bhalla, Raghav Gupta, Rahul Srivastav, but very, very importantly, Virat Kohli, and of course, Sourav Ganguly. These people made the function what it is. They are the 11 gods we celebrate. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. I know this is chaotic. I know this is mad, but that's what Indian cricket is what it is. Thank you very, very much.